pagi! Good morning everyone, Kenneth here and welcome to my long overdue review of the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. Now, I'm sorry for the clickbaity title, but seriously, do not buy anything just because of the high-res badge. Instead, in the case of NeoBuds Pro, buy it because of the great sound, great ANC Transparency, apt customization, and then everything else including the high-res codecs. But here, this thing cost $120, literally twice the price of its predecessor, the Edifier NB2, and that might sound quite a lot to you. And then you see the lack of wireless charging or wear detection. You might think, should you really buy it? Well, I'm here to say that those are hardly a complaint because the fundamentals are upgraded so significantly, and let's just say the sound quality alone already more than makes up for the price increase. It is that good. Before we start diving though, full disclosure is down in the description below, but what you need to know is you will always get my own honest opinion, and please help me support the channel by using the affiliate links when buying stuff. We've got a ton to talk about, so let's get started with the first and the most important thing, the sound quality. If you don't know yet, earbuds from Edifier has always got that V-shaped tuning, whether it's the $20 X3 or the TWS Pro NB2, you will get punchy bass and boosted highs, and in my opinion, they're fun to listen to. But in the past, if you've seen my Edifier reviews, I've always talked about how I don't like the aggressive trebles that could easily sound piercing, and also the soundstage isn't particularly that impressive. On the NeoBuds Pro, those problems doesn't exist anymore. Maybe because of the Knowles Balanced Armature Edition, or they just tuned it a little bit better this time around, but you have a clear upper mid-range with less extreme treble, so it never sounded harsh. Then also the soundstage and separation is way better than anything Edifier has released, and of course, that bass, by default, it is so strong, kind of reminds me of the Soundpeats H1 sound. But notice that I said by default, because in the Edifier Connect app, you can set your own EQ and tune this to however you like. For me, I liked everything about the sound. I only feel the need to tune down the bass a little bit, so I did just that, and I think it sounds amazing. Here's the QR code to my EQ. You can scan it after pressing plus on the EQ profiles page, but of course, if you like it bassy, then keep it at dynamic. So let's start the comparison with Gunjo by YOASOBI, a song I just recently fell in love with after watching the first take version, and I wanted to quickly tell you that compared to the TWS Pro, the soundstage difference couldn't be any clearer. No longer you get a small bubble inside your head. The NeoBuds Pro almost gives you an out-of-buds experience with hi-hats playing far to the sides and vocals front center, piano and guitar at the back. You can tell the difference immediately in the first 5 seconds. It is mwah. Compared to the Soundpeats H1, as I've said before, the default dynamic EQ has a very similar strong and punchy bass impact, except now the female vocal is brought much forward on the Edifier, and I'm actually a big fan of that. Then if I apply my EQ, it's interesting to see how the sound steers close to the Feel T1 Pro now, but I feel like there's more body to the vocal on the Edifier. It feels more intimate, it feels more natural, and the soundstage, man, you really feel the sense of space when a choir comes in. It's truly a sound upgrade to all the best sounding recommendations I've got so far. But let's compare this to the ANC competition, okay? And I'm going to use the song I Don't Wanna Miss a Thing by Aerosmith here, and let's see. The Earphone Air Pro 2. This is an amazing ANC buds that goes frequently on discount at around $60, so you're spending more than twice with the NeoBuds Pro here, but do you get twice the sound quality? Well, I think the soundstage and separation says yes. Truly, I have no problem listening to the earphone at first, but then I switched to the NeoBuds Pro and back to the earphone, and the difference is so much, it's almost a bully. It's like the TWS Pro situation again. You get so much more separation, so much more soundstage and detail. Everything sounds much more natural and opened up, and I don't want to say the earphone is bad because it's totally not, but in this case, you really get what you paid for. Anyway, Let's up the competition now with the One More ConfoBuds Pro, one of my top rated ANC buds that used to cost $100 but now regularly goes for $80. This has a rather flat and mid-focus sound that never sounded impressive until you get used to it, let's be honest. No bass, no fun. So it comes down to your preference. If you like vocals first, then One More is a fine option. But otherwise, I think the Edifier will appeal to a broader audience, and given the fact that you can EQ it further and it has a wider soundstage too, there's no denying that Edifier is the winner here. Now let's compare the Edifier NeoBuds Pro to the big boys here, and at twice the price we have the AirPods Pro. I tweaked the sound slightly with headphone accommodation set on balanced tone slight to boost the lacking highs, and to my surprise the AirPods Pro holds its ground quite well. The soundstage is pretty similar to the NeoBuds Pro. The treble and clarity of guitar, snare hits and strings are good, but like the One More ConfoBuds Pro, this is a mainly mid-focus sound that I appreciate, sure, but the Edifier with its slightly more bass and treble and clarity ultimately is more fun to listen to. Next up, at triple the price, you could get the Sony WF-XM4, but talking just about sound quality, are they worth all that extra money? Well, this time around, I have to say no. And I've said this after tweaking the Sony's inside out. Generally, if you set the clear bass up, you could get more mid-bass detail, but the sub-bass rumble is still better on the Edifier. And talking mids and treble, yes, the definition around the vocal is better on the Sony, sure, but the Edifier could give you 90% of what the Sony is capable of. Both of them sound amazing, so it's definitely a law of diminishing return here, and once again, I'll let your wallet do the talking here. Volume-wise, the NeoBuds Pro is on par with all the earbuds I've compared it to, which means these go very loud, and I would have no problem listening at 50 to 70% max, even outdoors on a busy place, especially when you use that ANC, you could listen at even lower volume. Last but not least though, you need to know that I do all these comparisons with AAC on my iPhone X. The reason why is I want to level the playing field, and most importantly, show you that the NeoBuds Pro can sound excellent with this supposedly basic codec. Nevertheless, one of the selling points is the support for LHDC and more recently LDAC. I won't talk too much about it unfortunately because I don't hear much difference myself. Definitely don't want to make things up here, but if you've got the right high-res files and a supported phone, you can take advantage of it. Hopefully it will give you a better sound, but you have to be careful because it has some significant drawbacks that we're going to talk about towards the end of the video. So make sure to keep on watching to know those. Okay, I hope you get a good idea of how it sounds now. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this. I hope you appreciated my approach to these reviews, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I share a lot of fun stuff there. You definitely don't want to miss. And with that said, let's talk about the unboxing and build quality now. Unboxing. Every step screams the word fancy. With every purchase, you'll get a paper bag, a huge box with super nice metallic look, and when you open it, the foam on the lid is like a sound dampener. The bacteria resistant ear tips arranged beautifully with colors. There's a pull tab for the NeoBuds Pro unit, and the design team is just showing off at this point. And that's not everything. Under it, you get your paperworks, a very neatly placed USB-C cable that's quite long, which is great. And the best thing is gonna be the carrying pouch. It's seriously the nicest pouch I've ever had in my life. It's got a silvery look on the outside, a microfiber lining on the inside. It's thick, it's washable, and it works. I use this all the time, and after months of usage, my NeoBuds Pro is still free from any scratches. Neat. Talking about build quality, we've got a similar design to the NB2, except now that we've got a brushed metal look here, and the earbuds are made a bit more rounded now. I don't know about you, but I like this design a lot. It is very, very unique. The hinge is super solid, no gives at all. The lid, I don't know how to describe it, but it snaps open and closed very, very nicely. It's got a sense of weight to it, and there's a button inside that you can press for 5 seconds for pairing mode or tap 3 times for factory reset. But seriously, I can't move on without mentioning the red LED strip that slides in and out with style here. When you open the case, it will slide in and out, indicating that they are pairing to each other. And then when connected to a media source, it will blink twice. Then between that, you can see a solid red line, and that varies in length, telling you the remaining battery. So if it's only in the center, then it's almost out of juice. It'll blink if it really needs to be charged, or if you see the whole line, then it's got a full charge. Simple, right? Now, it is unfortunate to see the absence of wireless charging, especially after paying so much for this, but the USB-C port does the job just fine. The earbuds can fast charge, giving you 1 hour of playtime with only 10 minutes inside the case, and the case itself has 500 mAh battery, which is enough to last you up to a week. But I always feel like it needs charging quite often. Maybe I just use it a lot more, but it's safe to say that the case here holds about 3 more charges to the earbuds. Speaking of the earbuds, these are IP54 rated. You've got a metal mesh all around, and these fit in the ear like an AirPods Pro, which means they fit great. Even when I grin or raise my eyebrows, they don't open up too much, and that's thanks to the well-designed ear tips too. One thing I want to mention is these design could hurt after a couple of hours, but it could be just my ear, because the same thing happens basically with the previous NB2 or AirPods Pro as well, so it's not the NeoBuds Pro fault. As for the playtime, you can check the details in my Twitter at testedbyken, but generally my findings are similar to Edifier's claim. That's 5 hours of playtime at 50% volume with ANC on, or transparency mode, they're the same thing, and turning off ANC will extend the playtime to 6 hours. Now this is important. These are the numbers you will get with SBC or AAC. If you use the high-res codecs like LHDC or LDAC, the earbuds will drain even more battery. And under the same test condition, but now on LHDC, I got a total playtime of a mere 3 hours and 13 minutes. LDAC fares a little bit better at 3 hours 48 minutes until the master side ran out of juice, but both are still shy from hitting the 4-hour mark, which is what I regard as the bare minimum for a true wireless earbuds to not be annoying to use. But it doesn't end there. One more aspect that's impacted by these high-res codecs is latency performance. I'll link the detailed comparison video down below. You can watch it after this video, but the gist of it is the best these earbuds can do is only 300 milliseconds for games and around 100 milliseconds for videos. That's on SBC on Android and AAC on iPhone. Using LDAC will increase the latency to 400 milliseconds on gaming. Still okay-ish, gaming mode does nothing, but it is very nice to see negligible impact on video, so good job on that one. But LHDC is probably the worst offender here because it literally doubled the latency in both gaming and video latency performance. This means try to avoid LHDC. It's got the worst battery drain, worst latency, without even talking about the sound quality. So if you want to go high res, then LDAC might be okay, but I'm afraid that I will have some problem with my Poco X3 Pro here with LHDC, so I'm not sure myself. Let me know if you have a good experience with LHDC, but definitely for gaming, stick with the basic codecs like SBC or AAC. And for the record, I use this to play Genshin Impact a lot on my Mac, on my Poco X3 Pro, on my iPhone 10, and I can say the gaming mode does make all the difference, making it playable for me. Okay, let's go through the controls now and also the app customization. And this is an Edifier thing, but unfortunately all their earbuds have lacking controls, and it's even more apparent here because there are so many features. So like you see here, there are only a few spots. You can only double tap and triple tap. Left side is occupied with switching ANC and game mode. Right side is occupied by play, pause, and skip track. This looks limited and feels limited. Yes, the app lets you customize these double and triple taps. Yes, you have the option for volume up and down, voice assistant, previous track, all the good stuff. But the problem is, where do you want to put it? Do you want to just sacrifice gaming mode for just volume up or play and pause? Well, I don't. I want all these controls plus single taps for volume control and hold for voice assistant. Anyway, Touch sensitivity is good. Earbuds, remember, it's last use setting and it always cycles to ambient mode. So when you set the app to normal, for example, it will cycle between normal and ambient mode. If you put it to any of the noise cancellation modes, then it will go to that specific noise cancellation mode and ambient mode. So switching is always quick and easy, which I appreciate a lot, and we'll talk about the different modes shortly. But since we're here, let's talk about the Edifier Connect app because it is actually pretty darn nice. First of all, the black theme matches the feel of the earbuds, it connects quickly, and everything that you need is all put in the earbuds section. So on the first page here, you got your ANC modes, battery reports down to 1%, then swipe to the next page and you got your EQ customization, swipe again and you've got your game mode page, then the rest of the stuff is going to be on the gear icon on the top right. Tap on that and here you can see more customizations, among which is you can change the earbuds pairing name, a feature that I personally love. But yeah, tap setting is the controls customization we just talked about. We can set the tap sensitivity, even though I found the default one to work just fine. And on the Android app, you'll get extra customizations for LHDC and LDAC, changing bit rates and sampling rate stuff. Also about LDAC, this is a recent October update. To get it, you have to update the firmware using another app called Edifier Magic, and this has to be done on an Android phone. But that's again hardly a problem because this codec is only supported on Android, so iPhone users, you don't need to worry about the firmware update. Finally, before we go into the microphone test, let's talk about the last big thing that got upgraded on the NeoBuds Pro, the ANC and Transparency mode. This upgrade makes them miles better than what they are on the previous NB2. So it's better than Earphone Air Pro 2 or Soundpeats T2, placing it solidly on the one more ComfoBuds Pro level. But that's to be expected from the price, right? Well, let's talk in detail. First of all, the ANC. It seems just like the newest earphone, wind noise reduction algorithm is built into the normal ANC modes, so it just works. Let's say when you're walking on a windy street, you don't have to manually go to the app and turn on wind noise reduction like how it is on the One More or the Feel CC Pro. And to be honest, it's called wind noise reduction for a reason. You still hear some distractions when the wind is strong enough, but now it's not as annoying. So if previously the wind blowing into your mics is just very annoying, like this time, it's just a couple breeze here and there, which I can tolerate very easily. Then talking about the ANC quality, I have no problem saying that this is the best we've ever got before we move into the premium space. Low rumbles are completely gone. Mid-range noises are blocked very nicely, but we gotta talk more on that high-pitched noises. So just like the One More, you have two different ANC modes, high and low noise cancellation. The high setting cancels more of the upper mid-range, so technically you feel like it's quieter, but in practice, the leftover treble noises become way more noticeable and annoying as a result. So again, this is just like the One More. I much prefer sticking with a low setting that, doesn't interfere with that higher pitched noises, and I recommend you to do so because despite the low moniker, you're getting a very good noise cancellation here. And in practice, I tried, just switching between the Edifier AirPods Pro or the Sony XM4s. They give about the same experience, and well, I have to say the Sony, it's comparable if they use silicone tips, but let's talk about that in its review coming very soon. Now about the transparency mode, again, much improved from the predecessor, but this time it can't quite match the natural and clean sounding pass-through as the One More ComfoBuds Pro here, which is only second to the king of transparency, the AirPods Pro. But let me elaborate. First of all, you can set the level of transparency in the app. For me, I like it maxed out at +3 and it sounds great. I can talk without any issue. When I accidentally rub on the mic, they're not too annoying, and the pressure release is on par with the One More. The problem is, on the left side, which is supposed to be the main master side, you will hear a very tiny electronic noise. Nothing annoying when you're out and about, but definitely noticeable in a quiet-ish room. The One More or the more expensive buds from Apple or Sony are free from this issue. If not for that noise, I would put this as on par with the One More, or even better since you can customize them. And otherwise, connectivity is okay, nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to dropout, but taking all the things together, they do give you a very nice premium experience that gives Apple or Sony XM4s a run for their money. So that's finally everything I needed to tell you. Let's just check out the microphone test now, shall we? Alright, welcome everyone to the microphone test, and right now you're listening through the Edifier the NeoBuds Pro's microphone. And what do you think of the sound quality? Let me know down in the comments below. But right now we are talking in an indoor setting where nothing is going on. The room is completely silent. This is the best case scenario for these earbuds. One thing that you need to know is these earbuds will automatically turn its ANC off or transparency, like all the features off whenever the mic is being used. It's not ideal. I would much prefer, having transparency mode on because I could hear my voice clearly. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Let's see how this performs outside with the outside noises then.
All right, welcome to the outdoor test, everyone. Right now you're listening through the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. And what do you think of the microphone quality? This is an outdoor setting where a lot of cars are zooming past behind me, and yeah, you can see how the noise cancellation goes. We got an electric car, that is not an electric car. But anyways, I got too excited for that. We got a little bit of wind coming to my face, directly at my face at this moment. So see if that interferes with the microphone quality as well. But generally, I think this is a pretty good mic in itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the microphone test. Let's compare this now to the benchmark of the test, the AirPods Pro. Alright, so now we are on the AirPods Pro with the exact same situation as before. And what do you think of the sound quality? Again, wind is blowing in the direction of my face right now, so you can see, it's not that big of a wind, but you can see if that affects the sound in any way. But otherwise, this stream is actually quite noisy. I just noticed that when I switched the earbuds out. But yeah, let me know if this is better or the Edifier NeoBuds Pro is very, very usable as well. Okay, that's pretty much it for the microphone test. Let's go back upstairs. No thanks to video.
As a conclusion, the Edifier NeoBuds Pro has a lot of good things going for it. The exceptional sound quality, great ANC transparency, the app customization, then sprinkle in some nice design, high-res codecs, and a super fancy unboxing. Now, we've got a very, very nice and premium earbuds that's definitely worth its asking price. So now that you know everything, will you be buying it? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts down below. I'll try to reply as much as I can. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Kenneth, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.